Action.
My name is Xayla Wilson, and I'm a senior at Carver Early College. The idea of educational institutions to advance the masses was introduced by our third president, Thomas Jefferson. He thought that education was needed to participate in voting practices and essential for our freedom. For hundreds of years, our country has awarded itself for providing public education to the people. Yet articles are being produced about how public education is confining and entrapping individual growth. As a product of the public education system, I recognize these flaws and would like to express my concerns in how it relates to self-determination and individual freedom. Understanding the disparities within education is the key to understanding the problems with individual freedom and self-determination. I recognize that people truly believe that their education is beneficial, and I am not arguing against that fact. I want to counter other claims by stating that their education, especially the conditions within public education, are not adequate. A previous teacher of mine, Mr. Westmoreland, who now serves on the Atlanta Public School System Board, often recalls a story of himself in high school. He grew up on the north side of Atlanta, which contrasts as you drove just 20 miles south. These streets were filled with gangs, drug dealers, prostitution, and to state the obvious, these outside elements affect their education, which affects their individual freedom and self-determination. Yet day to day, he would attend his AP English course that had only middle-class Caucasians, while another English class was a dumping ground. The school he attended was a public school, but I am sure that he is aware that the education received by him and the education received by another student in the dumping ground classroom was different, to say the least. This story may not seem as dramatic, but the underlying message should speak volumes to thousands. We have claimed that education is to not be segregated or discriminated, that each student should receive the same education, but that is not the case. To me, education and freedom are synonymous. Without one, there cannot be another. You cannot expect two students who have different backgrounds and lives and now have a different education to be able to combat in society. To vote, you must be educated. The student in the dumping ground classroom was denied his proper education. To live happily, you must be educated. The student in the dumping ground classroom was denied her proper education. Ignorance is not happiness. It is a blinding state of mind. The teacher in the dumping ground classroom was denied her right to properly educate students. I can only hope that by becoming educated and spreading the word to gain awareness will aid this cause. I can only hope that more people like Mr. Westmoreland will lessen the gap and provide equal education to all students. I can only hope that when I am of age, I can join a board and make a difference. But for now, I am becoming educated. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So before we can continue to punch ballots, we need to fight for equal education for all people.